Hi guys, this image was taken in Nevada on a trip that Tony Hewitt and I did through the west, the sort of Midwest of America. Well, you can't really say it's the Midwest, but it was anyway. It was kind of the middle of the West, but not the Midwest, if that makes any sense. So we were, presented this beautiful scene, and I just wanted to show you how I stylized it, just to make it look a little bit more intense. So I'll just get back to the original photo. If I option click on the little eye, you can see that's what the photo looked like. So the storm was there. It was actually really amazing. It was about 100 degrees, well, 36 degrees, and there was snow actually that had been deposited on the mountains behind. And there was also a little Cessna over here flying around, which was pretty interesting. And yeah, so the first thing I did is I actually did an apply image effect, which is that one there, and I'll show you if you haven't already done that one before. I duplicated the photograph, Command J, go up to Image, Apply Image, and I basically do a multiply blend mode on the red. Probably the red channel is the most frequently used one. So I've done that. I've added a layer mask to it. So if I click OK, I've then added a layer mask down here, this little icon, and then I've gone and rubbed back some of the effect to bring back some of the light because it was a pretty strong effect. So you can see I've done that there, and you can see where I've done the rubbing back. So obviously everything that's black is taking off some of that effect. So if I go and hold down the Shift key and click on this layer mask, that'll disable it, and you can see what I've got there. Okay, so I think when I did that apply image, I've gone in and I've actually made the effect less strong by, I'll show you if I go back to it and do it again, duplicate the photograph, image, apply image, used multiply on the red channel, and I've gone in, hit the mask, changed the channel from grey to red, and clicked invert. So it's basically the same effect as you can see, but it's just a little bit not as strong. So I'm pretty sure I've done it like that. Okay. The next step is I've gone in and done used the color lookups adjustment layer, and this one in particular I've used is Foggy Night, and I've done a blend mode of multiply. So pretty simple. You go in. This is the icon here for color lookup. Click on the list. I've got a whole heap here, more than everyone else, because I've loaded them up from 3D Creator program, which gives you a whole lot of presets. And I've gone down to F for Foggy Night, done a blend mode of multiply, and then it's really gritty and really dark, and then I've brushed back and dropped opacities. Let me have a look. And let's get rid of that. That's the way I've done it. And here you can see how I've applied it just by, if I shift click, that's what it was like, really dark. And I've just gone with the brush and brushed. Let's have a look. Option or Alt click on the mask, and you can see where I've rubbed the light back. And that basically just gives us a real heavy kind of vignette, darkens things down a little bit, makes it a bit more dramatic. Next step is I've just gone and done a levels adjustment layer just to make sure where my white and black points were. So I've gone in there, you can see, and all I would have done is just brought that up to that point there. Don't want to clip any of those whites. So that's what I would have done with that one, which is this one here. The next one, I've done it again, done another levels, and I've just wanted to make the light more strong over the clouds there, just the white clouds, and just enhance the snow that was coming out, and the rain obviously that was hitting there. So yeah, that you can see I've lightened up rock. Option click. See what I've done there. Okay. The next thing is I looked at the foreground and I thought it was a little bit, this was a little bit greenish. So I've gone in and done a hue saturation adjustment layer. Click the colorize button. Change the hue to somewhere like between 30 and 40, and change the blend mode down to hue, and drop the opacity back. So I'm looking at, that's what it was, a bit greenish, just moving it up so it's a bit warmer like that. Now, of course, when you do that, it takes all the blue out of the sky,
So you can see on mine there, I've used a gradient, so G for gradient, and I've held in the shift key and I'm just click and drag the wrong way, and you can see it's bringing the sky back, so I'm just dragging that down, just feathering that edge. If you start here and go along like that, you'll get a big long feather. If you start anywhere and draw a really small line, you get a really hard edge like that. So you sort of go somewhere where you want it to feather, and I want it to feather something like that. Okay, so I'll delete that because that's what I've done there. See also the opacity, like I've done before, like I've shown you, sorry, it's early in the morning. I have changed blend mode to hue and the opacity down to 46%. Okay, and then you just see the foreground goes from greeny to kind of a bit more reddy. And the last step in this process is I've done an auto curves adjustment layer and just look to see which one I like the most. So that's what it's done. You can see it's taken a bit of that kind of bluiness out of it, added a bit more warmth through the image itself. So all I do is I go up to curve adjustment layer, option click on auto, and flick through these different adjustments, find the one that I like the most. Say if it was that one, I'd click OK, and that then I'd look to see, do I want that, yes or no, and if it's too strong, I would just drop the opacity back on that to say halfway. Let's see what I've done on this one here, curve adjustment layer. You can see, yes, I've done a similar thing, and I've dropped the opacity back to 33%. So that's pretty much how that one came together. So when you go back to the start, everything's there, the light is there, it just needs to be enhanced. I mean, anybody could take that photo, but I much prefer that look. More stylized, more dramatic, more interesting. Okay, hope you enjoyed this tutorial.